Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a stock valuation. I wasn't planning on doing a stock valuation today, but I wanted to talk about where this stock came from and why I wanted to talk about it first. So, if you read Peter Lynch's books, he talks about looking at your vendors and your current job and your suppliers, everybody along the chain, right? Because you know that business better than anybody. You know what these products should cost. You should understand these products. You should do blah, blah, blah. So every once in a while, I go and I take a look at various vendors that the company I work for utilizes, and I see if they're a public company, and then I do some valuation work, some very, very light valuation work, just to get an idea of whether or not this is a company that I should maybe pay closer attention to and read their 10K. And I came across one of those companies today. And the company that I came across is ServiceNow. And my company utilizes it. I've used their product many, many times. It's a good product. ServiceNow has this strategy of landing a client and then expanding the business and growing organically like that. And they've done a very good job of that, apparently. They're a software as a service business. They have very high margins. Very cool company. So the question then becomes, how much is this thing worth, right? They're doing about, let's see if I can find this, about $9.90 in free cash flow every quarter, or every year, excuse me. They're doing about $9.90 in free cash flow for the trailing 12 months. And it's been growing, right? That trailing 12-month free cash flow has grown consistently year over year. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to take a look at their historical growth rate, right, on free cash flow, and apply that into my model, which is a standard 15% required rate of return and a 4% terminal value, 4% growth as a terminal value after 10 years, right? That's sort of the model that I used as a quick screen. When I did that, you plug in 9%, $9.90, and then you let it grow at their historical rate, which is an insane 45% growth per year annualized, which boggled my mind when I saw it. But we plug that in to my little model, and it spits out a very nice number of $1,000, almost $1,000 even. And I'm going to round these numbers off. So math nerds out there, whatever, right? I'm rounding. Cut me some slack. You get about $1,000 a share, which is a very, very interesting, because ServiceNow is currently trading at about $500 a share, which really, really surprised me because of how overvalued the stock market is at the moment. And I said, okay, let's take a step back here. What if they don't grow at 45% a year for the next 10 years, right? Let's say they only grow at 35%, right? What is this thing worth? And it comes out to be, so you just flip that percentage from 45 to 35%, and I plug it in, and I get a very nice number of about $560 a share, which is still cheaper than my than what I can buy it at today, which started getting me a little bit more excited about this stock. And so then I plugged in 25% to see where that lands me, 25% growth on my standard model. And that comes out to be about $300 a share, which is substantially less than the $500 a share price that you can currently get. Went to Yahoo Finance, looked up what analysts are expecting in terms of growth rates for ServiceNow, and they're expecting about 25% per year annualized. So I said, okay, that my low estimate is probably closer to the truth. So it could be overvalued a little bit in terms of what my model says. But what ends up happening is I lowered the required rate of return on my model until I got to that $500 mark. It turns out it's about 10%, so you can still expect a 10% return. I kind of like what I'm seeing here, right? I'd prefer for it to be lower, frankly. But that being said, there might be other factors or things that I haven't looked at yet, right? And so it deserves a closer peek. This is a company that I'm going to be reading the 10K on. I'm going to pull down the 10K for this year and for the year before, and I'm going to read through them, see what's going on with the company, understand it a little bit more, and figure out whether it's something I should throw some money at. And that's what I advocate. Do your valuation work, and then if it seems interesting to you, dive a little bit deeper into the company and say, okay, what is this thing actually worth? What do I think the growth rates are going to actually be, right? But it's interesting enough to get my attention. The reason why I bring it up today instead of doing what I promised would be my next stock valuation, which is Apple, which I haven't even begun looking at. I was going to look at it over the weekend and put together a little presentation for you guys. But the thing that I wanted to say is that looking at this company, I've been accused of being sort of bearish, right? A lot of the companies that I've looked at have been very overpriced and haven't been worth digging deeper into. ServiceNow reminds me a lot of Palantir, right? Palantir's strategy is very, very similar. They're going to land a client, and then they're going to work on expanding the relationship with that client. So very, very similar to ServiceNow's sort of strategy for growth, which, makes a lot of sense to me. I kind of see it as a more mature Palantir, to be honest with you. So that's sort of where I personally land with ServiceNow. I'm going to be looking at it more. But I share this with you to show you that there are potential deals out there in the stock market, even in an overvalued market. So take that for what it's worth. Be careful, stay rational, subscribe, and until next time, stay rational. Bye.